Thanks for tuning in to Respect the Hustle podcast. Make sure you follow us at Respect the Hustle Pod. Like, subscribe. I gotta do all that podcast and stuff because that's how we're going into the new year with better visuals, better audio, better just everything, just all around. And I'm glad for y'all still rocking with me. Man, chat, it's crazy that years ago I had it's few things, y'all. Few things. Let's take it back. Years ago, many years ago, like 2008, 2009, me and Chose that did some interviews, and it wasn't like podcast style, but it was just interviews, like random interviews, and I forgot what we called that podcast. What we called that. It was a random name that I came up with, and we were just calling it that, and it was like once every 6 months. To backdoor, me and B make Bam TV, and that was more random podcast, viral type style that I think would have been crazy in this day and age. I'm gonna call this the holiday wrap up. The holiday wrap up. The bowl, the bowl of the bowl of podcasts for 2024. 10th episode is upcoming, and I know like I'm just I'm doing various types of episodes. It's a lot of videos being uploaded, some shorts being uploaded, but the actual, when I call it the 10th episode is because I'm doing it big, and that's the 10th episode. Until then, this is just prerequisite episodes to this. We on the road to 10, but I feel good because honestly, I've did more than 10 episodes, and to be able just to come here and ramble for 3 minutes before. All right, let's get started. So first topic, bowl week. No. First, let's go back. All right, chat. So, now doing this little different setup I got going on. I'm not doing screen share. Today. But I am going to just go. So we remember Diego Pavia did a lawsuit and had a lawsuit basically to get granted an extra year. So then they made it. It was pretty much. I did a short about it. You can go check out my shorts on Respect the Hustle podcast. I did a short about it, and it was pretty much. It was just only him that had got approved to do that at the time. But since then, a couple days ago, put it on my phone. A couple days ago, the ruling it's only applies to players if you spent a year or more at a junior college or NAIA program. We're scheduled to graduate and play your senior year this upcoming year. You were on a Division I football roster. Okay. Years didn't get added at all. So that's the clarification that I did want to give. There was no extra years added on to. So you're not at a Division I program right now. Right now, that doesn't affect you. Now this is still an ongoing thing. So next week something different can come out. It can, also touch onto Division II football players and everything like that. But as for what I gathered now, that's all we got for now. So I did want to clarify some things, and now we have more come out. I did want to be able to give some more context to what I did a short on the other day. Okay, we got a couple of college games not only on right now, But for the next upcoming days, we're gonna touch the top. We'll touch the top 25. We'll touch the top 25. Just to run through some things, you got Rutgers playing K-State later today. You got Arkansas State playing Bowling Green. You got Jackson State. Jackson State beat South Carolina State in the Celebration Bowl to take that bowl championship game, and for them to also win in the SWAC. That was pretty dope for them, 28-7. Coach down there, he doing his thing. South Alabama, they beat Western Michigan in the Salute the Veterans Bowl. Memphis on December 17th took out West Virginia. UNLV beat Cal. James Madison beat Western Kentucky. Sam Houston, they finished their season 10-3 by defeating Georgia Southern. Notre Dame, they won their playoff game. They had their first round playoff game against Indiana. They won that game. Jacksonville State lost to Ohio. Florida beat Tulane in the Gasparilla Bowl. I just been wanting to say Gasparilla for all week pretty much. Texas beat Clemson in the playoffs. Penn State beat SMU in a game that really wasn't competitive at all. Ohio State beat Tennessee in a game that wasn't competitive at all. North Dakota State beat South Dakota State in that little battle. But North Dakota State was rolling all year. They finished the season with 13-2 record. Montana State beat South Dakota, and Montana State finished their season undefeated. Where they went, they won their FCS semifinal game, and they're going to go on to play North Dakota State in a game that'll be pretty good. This week that we had UTSA, okay, they won the Beach Bowl. Northern Illinois won the Idaho Potato Bowl. Random. Y'all, I remember when I was younger, I always wanted to go to, when I was like 13, 14, like, if you'd asked me what's a place I want to go to, I used to say Idaho. Don't know why. I just don't know why. But we ain't gonna talk about that. Some upcoming games we got for this weekend. Starting tomorrow, we got Navy against Oklahoma, Vanderbilt against Georgia Tech, Texas Tech against Arkansas, Syracuse against Washington State, USC versus A&M. The game I'm looking forward to, obviously Colorado against BYU. Okay, in the Alabama the Alamo Bowl. Coach Prime, Shador, Travis Hunter, they take the field one more time. This week, Coach Prime made it known that for his guys that are pro eligible, that basically had something to lose and playing in a game like this, they got insurance, the biggest insurance policies taken out ever. And I think that's pretty dope because that's gonna set the precedent for not only people to take insurances out when they play in these bowl games, but it could perhaps lead to people getting assurances for the season, getting assurances to play in a bowl game more. It's like, okay, like I might as well play, help out my guys one more time. This very unselfish because we know what kind of loss it would have been without Shador, without Travis, without Shiloh, without a lot of the seniors that, a lot of the pro guys, Jimmy Horn, Wester. But to be able to say, okay, like, we got these assurances, but we finna still go out and ball out one more time, you know what I'm saying? It's more tape. But what I'm gonna tell you is put your money. I gotta check out the lines, I gotta check out DraftKings, I gotta check out Prize Picks, I gotta check out whatever's gonna let me check them out. Jimmy Horn going to at least get 15 targets. Jimmy Horn Jr. is going to at least get 15 targets. Mark my words. And God said the same. Man going to ball out because Shador gonna force him. It's gonna be a throw and catch game. Okay, of course they're gonna try to prove. Hunter gonna get 10 targets. Jimmy Horn, he been missing for a while, so he gonna get 15. LeJounte gonna take another 10, so that's 45 passes. It's gonna be a passing game. Don't bet on the running. Don't bet nothing on the running game because it ain't running the ball. They're gonna finish. They ain't run the ball to kind of loosen up the defense if they have to, but Shador's gonna throw for about 50 times in this game. So make sure you check the game out. BYU Saturday 6:30. Alabama playing Michigan, Louisville playing Washington. It's a lot of good games going on. LSU's gonna play Baylor in the Texas Bowl. They actually sent me tickets for that game. Actually, think I'm gonna be busy that day, but shout out to everyone over there at Kinder. Shout out to Texas High School Coaches Association, everybody that's over there and that's doing their thing in that instance. Oh, I'm tripping. And you can compare it to one of my last videos to see if I was accurate. Pretty much, I think I didn't miss much. Don't think I missed much. Let's see. North Crowley took the 6A Division I crown. They beat Westlake. Who won out of? I don't know who won out of. It's crazy. Let me see. Randall, from Richmond, Texas. Randall won 5A crown. Carthage continued their legacy. They won. Salina won championship. I think those are the ones I guessed. I don't know about South Lake. That's the one I want to see. South Lake Hero lost to Vandergrift. Vandergrift been on the rise a couple years. I think I called that one. Not sure. Smithson Valley beat Highland Park. Columbus, in Southeast Texas, Columbus, they took it. That crown. Gunner won. Ganado won. Munster won. Gordon won. Jayton won. I'm probably saying these names all wrong. But shout out to all the state champions in Texas high school football. Now, it's basketball season, basketball playoffs, how it kind of goes. But basketball season, how that kind of goes. Pretty much in March, by the time they start running them state championships in the state tournament, that's when that pretty much amps up. But, for football, how it is. Like, it's basketball season now. It's time to ramp it up. I got to ask the question on Respect the Hustle Pod Instagram. Okay. They said for me to be a former football coach and to play football and to be a known football fan over everything, why do I feel like I'm such a good coach in basketball? Well, first and foremost, it's kind of a backwards question. I mean, whether I'm a good coach or not is not. I don't. For me, everything's about relationships. If I can go to the store right now, cut this podcast off, go to the store, and see one of my former players, and we have that camaraderie, we have that conversation, like nothing's changed. Like that to me is what a good coach is. It's not about wins and losses. Historically, in the past, I've pretty much always floated around first, second place. I've been blessed with having the athletes on my teams, and blessed to have a great assistant coaches, whether I was an assistant coach at the time or not, just to have great teams. Some teams I didn't do so well. Some teams I had a pretty good season. Some teams have made it to championship games. Some teams that didn't make the playoffs. When I went to the high school level, it's kind of was in the transition year, new coaching staff, players in and out, injuries. Didn't make the playoffs a year. So it's not, for me, it's never been about wins or losses. But what I have said is I enjoy coaching basketball more than I enjoy coaching football. My opinion about that is the fact that, it's not an opinion, it's the fact I have more fun doing it because basketball is more of a personalized touch. Football, it's kind of forced of feeder this, feeder that. We got to do what the high school is doing. Even when I was on the high school level, it was still kind of like I've never been in the military, but it was pretty much we ran our program like a military style type of team. And even though we did more work in basketball than football, it just still felt like a personal touch. And so I could still get to my team, you know what, this is what we're going to do. Now, my basketball coach at the time, the head coach, he was trying to run certain specific things for me. At the end of the day, though, if I don't have, like, you're running the varsity, if I don't have the horses for JV, I can still teach them the same thing, but our game looks a little bit different as the JV head coach. And so it's, I still want to teach them some things that I'm still comfortable in doing. Or, for me, like, if I don't understand the point of what this offense, what we're doing with passing the ball, all like too many passes is going to lead to a turnover. So I want to pass the ball less. I want to score. We're faster than everybody else, just more athletically gifted than everybody else. Like, let's get to the basket as fast as possible. Throw up a layup. We could throw up 50 of those. We're going to make more than if we throw up 20 of those. And it just it wasn't a conflict, but it was just like, okay, I could teach them this offense, but at the same time, I want to teach them some things that I feel comfortable in doing because I don't want to run nothing that I'm not comfortable in and stuff I actually know myself. I feel it's not a regret, but I feel like looking back, like some of the advantage I get in knowing football is the fact I played football, and so I could see a play, and kind of diagnose what's going on and know what's this guy's doing, so on and so forth. Basketball, I just got the coaching aspect of it. I don't have the playing aspect of it. So that's what that's the only thing I kind of feel different about me playing and stuff like that. But as for a successful team, successful coach, I know if I can get into a program and build a relationship with a team and still get their respect and still be able to have them want to run through a wall for me, I can do that all day. It's not about X's and O's. It's about Jimmy and Joe's, as I've heard. Man, I feel old in saying that. Jesus Christ. But speaking about basketball, this is a good transition point. Let's talk about NCAA. I know this is something I really kind of don't be too much on men's and women's college basketball a lot. Even though, I watch, y'all including, like, I watch more college basketball probably more than pros. I don't know, just in general. Let's get to it. So, touching on the men's basketball, we know stuff is really not gonna ramp up to March Madness. We're gonna get to March Madness. We're gonna have us a little bracket. We're gonna create a bracket, diagnose the seedings and 1 through 64. We're gonna talk about it all. But we can kind of touch on it now because we're pretty much not going to touch on it again until March Madness. That's for the men's. I did take a look the other day, just kind of seeing where everybody is popping out. There's only like three undefeated teams right now. In men's college basketball, and that was, hold on, let me get back to it. Looked the other day, it was And this means nothing because these teams can bottom out. Mind you, we're just 2.5 months into the season. But I did want to just see kind of where people were standing. You got the Drake Bulldogs in the Missouri Valley Conference. A lot of these teams haven't even started conference play. You got the Florida Gators sitting there 12-0. There was one more team. No, that was it. Okay, so 2 teams that's undefeated, and then in women's college basketball, it's like 3 or 4 teams that's undefeated. But it's a lot of good teams that's still rolling right now. As for the top, let's go to the stats. As for the top leading scorers in all of college basketball for men's, we got Villanova guard Eric Dixon. He's scoring 25.8 points a game. Okay, and obviously once again these teams are 10, 11, 12 games in, with about 20 more games left to play, give or take. These numbers are gonna, they're gonna work themselves out. But he's sitting at 25.8. Anthony Roy from Green Bay, he's sitting at 25.7. The NAU guard McLaughlin, he's sitting at 23.4. Okay. Gonzaga, they have a guard that's pushing 10.2 assists a game. They got from Green Bay, he's at 4.4 threes a game. Like it's a lot of good basketball going on, and none of that kind of really goes to where some of the people that's being looked at for the draft next year. We know college ball and NBA ball is 2 different things. When we get to draft season, we're gonna kind of talk some little different things, and we'll talk more specific player wise. But right now, I kind of want to look at teams, because teams are what we're going to be looking at. Teams is what we're going to be looking at when we get to March Madness, and we know all of this stuff is going to go out the window. It does not matter during March Madness. So for women's basketball. Just for one, it's some ladies that's balling in college basketball. We got Flage, you got Juju, of course, you got Van Lith had found her stroke at TCU. You got young lady from Notre Dame, she's balling. Let's go to standings. Let me tell you those teams that's undefeated. Georgia Tech, they're at 13-0. Ohio State, UCLA, and Maryland all sit atop the Big Ten conference right now, undefeated. So definitely those things are going to change. But a lot of them seeing that the Big Ten got about 15 or 30 schools in this Big Ten. I think a lot of them have played some division games, at least one. I think when they start playing each other and beating up on each other, that's gonna start kind of evening itself out. But right now, like all of the top 6 teams in the Big Ten right now is all ranked teams, because they're all sitting pretty right now. But it's definitely gonna start taking some lumps eventually. Buffalo Bulls, they're sitting at 10-0. I believe that is it. And you got the Portland Pilots. They 13-0 right now, 2-0 in a division in the West Coast. You got some teams that's balling, and you got some teams that's defeated, haven't won a game just yet. But shout out to everybody out there, y'all. It's not like everybody could be armchair coaches, armchair players, and say what they woulda, coulda, shoulda done, and it ain't like that. And so, as a former coach, as somebody that's been in the trenches, I've worked with some successful coaches. I've worked with some great players. I'm opinionated, but I'm not disrespectful in my takes. I'm allowed to have takes, and I have my takes. But I definitely hold everything we're going to talk because things are different, and it's a lot of college basketball teams. Like I can't tell you what the Seattle U Red Hawks are doing in practice on a daily basis, but they getting out there and they getting out there. They get out there and they're running this Grand Canyon with sitting at 11-2. They ain't gonna be too many successful runs against them, but we'll see what it looks like when March Madness comes. You never know. All right. Let's talk about one of the topics I want to talk about. Talking about bowls, talking about everything like that. Beyonce Bowl. The Beyonce Bowl. I'm going to put the video here, and we're going to talk about it. Okay, so what did y'all think? This was my first time watching it. I mean, Beyonce is Beyonce. I mean, she has a legion of fans just like everybody do. But it's like for me, when she shows up now, she's showing up. She's not a regular person at a concert. So you just kind of just gotta remember that that's Beyonce. One thing that I'm popping out with that when I seen people talk about it is, when I'm seeing people negative talk about it, they're more so just talking. They ain't talking about the show. They're talking about the genre. They're talking about it's not country. What is country music to y'all? Leave your comments below in the chat. What is country music to you? I mean, you know, she's hit country charts. She's did all of that, and so for me, if something syncs up as country and they're getting, validated for it, I mean, your opinion of what country music is doesn't matter. I can say, okay, something else I do want to touch on. Holiday food. What do y'all think about that? Like, do you think that on holidays it's just supposed to be, on Christmas, Thanksgiving, it's just supposed to be turkey, ham, you alternate between the two, fried turkey, so on and so forth, cabbage, fried cabbage, greens, so on and so forth. Like, what do y'all think about that? Or could you mix it up and do, barbecue on one of them days? Mexican food, like have a fajita spread. Like, what are you thinking about that? Also, I know when playoffs come, like my Patriots, we're gonna be at the house. We're gonna be at the house watching it just like y'all. I know around that time we're gonna do a full, actually, in about 2 weeks we're gonna do a full, NFL walkthrough about the playoffs. I kind of want to think, I kind of got two teams in my mind that I think is going to be at the Super Bowl. But I kind of wanted to, play out and kind of filter itself out. I just hope for some good playoffs and not, no injuries. Just give it to somebody we don't want to see on that podium in February. But appreciate y'all for tuning in. This has been Respect the Hustle podcast. Make sure you, as for holiday food, make sure you put it in the chat. Like, what do you think? Do we have to stay traditional? Can you do non-traditional? If you do non-traditional food, what do you do, for your holidays? And speaking about food wise. So thank you for tuning in. Make sure you follow us, like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on the YouTube. Follow us on the TikTok. Subscribe, like, comment, send it to 5 friends. Tell them to send it to another 5. Thanks for tuning in. I'm out. Peace.